All right, so our last question comes from Kirby G, who asks, "What makes a hotel good? Is it the bed, the breakfast, the way the room looks? As someone starting to leave my hostel era, the bar is literally under the floor. As long as the bed is comfy and it has a functioning AC, it's an A plus for me." Lonnie, you tend to spend, I believe, the most amount of time in hotels amongst the three of us. What makes a hotel good?
First off, getting out of the hostel era, Kirby, congratulations. We've all had to slum it in. Look, I'll say it like this. The best way I can approach your question is you don't know what a good hotel is until you stay at a bad one. And you don't know that you're at a bad hotel until you actually stay at a really good one.
Yes.
And when it comes to that, and I say this, so coming from the hostel area, you might go to the Hojo, Super 8, Holiday. Sometimes the Holiday Inn is really good, even though we rag on it sometimes. There are some really good Holiday Inns out there. There's also some really bad ones. And for me, how I define it, it's not necessarily about price or luxury when it comes to good, but there is a level of expectation when it comes to price and luxury. So I will say that, in my opinion, just to define good, not too loosely, is cleanliness. Um, if you've seen any of my videos, especially anything where I've done hotel room tours or talked about room tours, there's one thing that I do the second I walk into that room, and that is check for bed bugs. Very first thing before sometimes I might even leave my suitcase out in the hallway, and it doesn't matter if it's a bad hotel, whatever you define as bad, or super luxurious. No one is immune to bed bugs. So I always check for that. So cleanliness is number one. Are the floors clean or do they at least appear clean? So for example, if there's stains on the floors, there's stains on the bed, stains on the covers, then no, that's not a good hotel. If the paint's chipping off the wall, if there's water, a pipe that's burst somewhere and there's water leaking, and you're like, why is there a wet spot over here in this corner? And the air conditioner's over there and the bathroom's over there. Yeah, that's not a good hotel, and I'd probably recommend changing your socks. Then what else? When it comes to service, customer service, I use that as defining good of, I have my reservation. How long does it take for me to check in? In some
Hmm.
cases nowadays, you don't even need to check in. You can do it all digital. Go straight to your room, use your phone or whatnot. And other times, and depending on the hotel, you still have to go to a front desk. Is someone there to take care of me when I get in? I already have my reservation. Sometimes most of the stuff is prepaid or paid with points for the most part. Why is this taking 20 minutes for you to give me my room key so I can go upstairs already? Like those types of things, that type of customer service. Free breakfast. What kind of free breakfast? Powdered eggs instantly puts me in the bad hotel category, straight up. There's no coming back from that. Or is the buffet a little bit better? Who's managing said buffet and what kind of stuff is it? Is it just egg, sausage, bacon, and that one waffle machine with the plastic cups, and you got to make your own waffles and flip it over for 3 minutes and go walk around for a minute? Or is someone else back there making my waffles? Is it sit down? That's what I look at when it comes to food, but that also falls in to price and luxury, the level of luxury, I should say. You're not going to get a full buffet meal like you would at a Waldorf at a Holiday Inn. But sorry, RJ, Choice is going to give you powdered eggs in the store. Choice is going to give you powdered eggs. At least a Staybridge Suite will scramble them up fresh. It makes a difference for me. So it's all about what you prefer. There are some non-negotiables. I think cleanliness is 100% one of them. I'm not one that travels with the black light. Sometimes I feel like I should, but I think good really comes down to the varying degrees of cleanliness. Like I said, floor, bed, comforter, pillow, customer service, those types of things. Oh, and also location. Can't stop location. Look, I love Dr. King, but if you're in a hotel on any city in this country that has Dr. Martin Luther King Drive, you're probably not on a good hotel. Just going to call it what it is.
At least 2 to 4 blocks away.
It's one of the most embarrassing parts about our country and where that street just happens to be located all the time, except for Atlanta, at one spot in Atlanta.
Yeah. RJ, what makes a hotel good?
I think Lonnie hit a lot of it. Cleanliness is key, right? If you walk into a room and you make a face instinctively, probably not a good hotel, right? You can walk into a room and there's something off about it, right? It doesn't smell right, it doesn't look right. It's just no.
The remote is locked down.
Yeah. If your remote is on a chain, probably not a good hotel. When I'm looking at a hotel room when I first get there, I turn into my mother when she was like checking my room when I was a kid to see if I cleaned it. Like I look at everything, right? Like I look through the bathroom, I look through the main part of the room, all of that. Just make sure that it's clean, make sure that it's kept well. Look, if the wallpaper is a little faded, depending on what I'm staying at, right? I may or may not care. If I'm in a Hampton Inn somewhere and the wallpaper's a little faded, that doesn't mean it's not a good hotel. It's just not necessarily a higher end hotel. And I think we need to sometimes strip higher end from good, right? Like you can stay at a two-star hotel that's a good hotel. Like they give you a good breakfast, they do all of the things. It's clean, it's got good customer service. All of that can be a good hotel. It's just not the Waldorf or it's not the Conrad, right? Like those, but I have stayed at higher end hotels. Like I've stayed at a four-star hotel that was disgusting. And that happens. It is less likely to happen, but it does happen. Like Lonnie said, I check certain things when I walk into every hotel room, regardless of if I'm at a one-star hotel or a five-star hotel. Because A, bed bugs can happen anywhere because people go in and out. So if somebody who has bed bugs because they've traveled to seven hotels because they're a business traveler and they hopped in their suitcase once, like that can happen. And it doesn't have anything to do with cleanliness. Actually, bed bugs tend to like cleaner things because they can move around better. Anyway, that's your bed bug lesson for the day, apparently. So, yeah, so you check these out. But yeah, I think good hotel doesn't necessarily mean you're staying at the Waldorf or the Conrad. It just means that certain things are taken care of. If you go down to the front desk, they have somebody at the front desk 24/7. It's not like from 10 to 5 you can't get anybody. That can be very inconvenient. And when you ask them a question, like they can help you. They can get you towels. They can answer your questions about the location. They're friendly. Like those make good hotels. Like they're trained. Like good hotels train their staff. They don't just throw them on the front desk. And a lot of places sometimes will just throw you on the front desk because they don't have anybody else because nobody wants to work there, right? So things like that help. Ultimately, it is a perspective. What I might think is a good hotel, Matt might not think is a good hotel for whatever reason. Lonnie might be on the fence. It's all going to be somewhat subjective a little bit, but typically we're all gonna, if five people walk into a room and they all think it's a good hotel, it's probably a good hotel.
I can't disagree with my colleagues on either of these, especially nowadays when you have digital check-in. Like you can get your room key right on your phone. Like you're checked into your hotel room well before the official check-in time. I check into when I book directly through Hyatt, Marriott, and Hilton. I get my digital key hours before I set foot in the hotel. I still go to the front desk first because I need a physical copy of my keys, but my room is checked in hours before I set foot at that hotel. Things like Lonnie's point on cleanliness, like if you walk in through the front doors and you have a bad vibe already, you're probably gonna have a bad time. But obviously you're gonna check for bed bugs, you're gonna check for water damage, you're gonna check for anything else that may be associated with water damage. Broken AC unit, AC units you can't control. Anytime you have to walk outside, when you open the door to your room and you are outside, usually not a great time. Usually not a great time. So now that is not to say that all motels are bad. Most motels, though. Yeah. Another thing, though, that can lead to this What's really the most annoying and disappointing part of this is you can't say a particular chain is good or bad. There are tons of hotels within that chain that are there are there are some hotels that are just immaculate, and then there are hotels that are a step above a horror show. But the chain is the same because everyone knows that one Hilton Garden Inn. Everyone knows that one Holiday Inn Express. Everyone knows that one Quality Inn. Everyone knows that one with Wyndham you're going to pick on days 8. Everyone knows
Embassy
that there's
Suites.
yep, there's that Embassy Suites. Everyone knows there's that one Courtyard, right? I've hit pretty much all the major. Everyone knows there's that one either Hyatt Regency or Hyatt Place. One of those two. And it's not uniform because the hotel chains went asset light years ago, at least a decade and a half, at least 15 years ago. They don't control the buildings. They don't control the quality in the buildings. They don't control anything beyond the point system that was used to book that hotel. It's all in the property management, and it's all in the hotel management group and the hospitality group that owns the building. And that's the really subjective thing because you could have an IHG hotel that is just spectacular. You go, you book another IHG hotel, and it is the things that Pennywise is made from. And there's no way to guarantee that Pennywise, the hotel room, is not going to be seen the next time you go to a Hilton, a Hyatt, a Marriott, IHG, or whatever. And it goes for boutique hotels as well. Probably more so with boutique hotels because they're more independent. And so it's really on the hotel at that point. So really, if you just want an all-around good experience, just go to the Four Seasons. I'm kidding.
Matt, you just told me that you have not spent a lot of time in Maine because half of the really nice hotels in Maine, you walk out your door and you are on beach. That is how some of the nicest hotels in Maine are. So,
It, Misery, the Dome.
okay, I'm not saying that Stephen King hasn't made all of the monsters from Maine. I'm just saying that there are some very nice hotel rooms that you just walk out and you're on the beach.
I have not spent enough time on the Maine coastline. No, I have not gone down east far enough.
In Miami, there's a lot of hotels, so you just walk out and you're on the beach. It's warmer in Miami as well.
Different kind of wildlife out there in Miami, though.
Yeah.
That's all we'll say on that one.